Okay, so I'm not totally sure what happened. There seems to be something really messed up with the actual stock generation and the way that happened. There's also a couple of things I would suggest doing differently, like when you set up. You initially set up the machine setup as cylindrical stock with the 0 right in the center, which is your rotation axis. I don't know where the original machine setup came from, and then trying to add the wrapping group that used the Z offset down there. That's what made it confused and can't do it. Also, using the feature engrave 7 times is really kind of useless. Basically, you would just use a profile, and then you have the 7 step downs. The engrave isn't giving you anything. Really, they either need to just get rid of it or actually add the engraving functionality that an engrave would want to have, like V bits and V carving and stuff like that into that. Otherwise, you're best just use a profile, and then you'll have way better control over the toolpath and everything. Okay, so let's delete that work wrapping group. So the first thing is trying to get that. What I need to do is set a machine to one that I have. Otherwise, I'll get an error in the simulation. So I need to change this to just this right now is one that I've defined with my post and everything. And now I need to remove that stock and then start over with the stock wizard. Let me just do that to try and refresh. Let me go back. Cylindrical stock. Okay. So now let's see if I can get that. See how it's twisted around the X's backwards, and it's just not how the thing is supposed to be set up here. So let's do that. Let's see if I can get this going. The diameter, I think, is 0.987. And then the length was 7. And then my origin is going to be here. And then now I want to get the X flipped around, right, which is that way. And let's see, I'm trying to, I got it. I did it before I made the video. Let me see. Let's see if I can change this. Set this origin here. Let's see that. And then see, I may need to go back. I think that's what I need to do. Go back and set that origin here. Okay, so I think I got that squared away. So there's the stock centered with the origin. Should be there. Let me just go back and edit to be double sure. There it is. Okay. And say okay. And so now I want to add my wrapping group to that. And this should just have a basic wrapping group. And now what I'm going to add there is a 2-axis profile. And I'm going to select my geometry. And now with this is where there's that top of part setting. With this is where you're going to need to, you're going to double check. There's your tool. Now here you want to select off, and that's basically your engraving tool right there. Nothing there. Now we can do multiple steps. The total depth is 0.007, and your depth of cut is 0.001. My numlock off 0.001. That should give us our 7 cuts, and no finish pass. I'm just going to burn through those real quick. Your sort order, X direction, Y direction, or closest, zigzag or zig. So that's how you control where it goes and where it starts. And nothing there, and compute. And so now this also will help you figure out the geometry that you say comes up missing. So you can review your toolpath. Like, see this A right here? If you zoom in on the toolpath, see how it left off those? And so now why did it leave those off? Well, you go in and you start zooming in on that A, and you realize that it's being left off because of this crossing bar right here. So then you would quick trim it. And it doesn't, but I'll have to break it another way. Basically, that you have to break that geometry at those intersections to make the toolpath come out right. So look at this, clean up text. It's just a text thing. You'll always run into that with text. It's something you're just going to have. If you want to use fonts, you can find a really clean one that works for the type of engraves you do, or go in and have, if you always want to use that particular font, go in and clean it up. Anyway, so now I can post that. Simulation. Oh, one thing, let's see, I got to set up my machine properly here. I didn't. So my default machine, I have to set up the work offset to move the head out of my rotary, because I haven't set that machine up yet. It's a brand new install. So I would go into my machine setup, edit that, and then I would edit the work offset, and let's just make that -15 over on the table. Yeah. And what that's going to do is let's see if I can fit. I got to fit this in now. So everything changes, and to figure out what changes for the recording software here. So now I move that out of there, and now your wrapping text works because I reset all that stock stuff. So anyway, now it'll wrap. So I don't know what to tell you. Something about the way you have to start. When you start off and you're getting ready to do a 4th axis, the first thing you do is run the wizard, choose cylindrical stock, set your cylinder right there on that 0 of the world axis, because that's where it is. And then after you set that up, stop properly how the stock will be loaded. Then you add a wrapping group. And go from there. And again, your profile is going to be a better option. And the skipping the letters part and everything that you brought up is going to be just because of that geometry I told you about, how to fix it. You have to go in and get that stuff fixed up. So run break, get rid of these doubles. See, like this right here, looks like something's connected there. So if I delete that, there's still a full line there. So we're selecting all that and trying to engrave, and you can run run the reorganize, erase doubles, clean up and optimize, and that might help that there. And then if you still find text missing, like all the A's, then you're gonna have to go in and actually break them properly and get rid of the little trims that are causing problems. Anyway, I hope that helps you with your file.